third place for Mobil 1 Truck Assist Racing, it's Ryan Wood.
Woody does a 53.8. He's got a quarter of a second over Waters at the moment, and there's an eruption of emotion inside the garage at Walkinshaw. He's been a karting champion. He's done well in the 86 series. He's done well in Porsche Sprint Challenge. He's done well in Dunlop Super 2. He got a pole earlier today. And now Ryan Wood is a supercar race winner. A monstrous moment. An exhilarating moment for the young guy from Wellington in New Zealand. Just 21 years of age. Congratulations and take a bow, young man.
Absolutely superb. Absolutely fantastic.
Well, it's the name that has been synonymous for the past couple of months. You've heard it in the highlights packages, and he's been good enough to join us for the very first time here on the driver's seat. Please welcome Ryan Wood from Walkinshaw Andretti United. Woody, welcome, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, mate. That's quite the introduction.
Well, mate, look, you have been one of the breakout stars of the year, and after your rookie season in 2024, I mean, have you ticked off most of the goals in 2025?
Yeah, look, we're getting there. We definitely would have loved to have a few more points on the board. I think the most thing I'm disappointed about, trophies and stuff come when you get points. So, we've missed out on a few opportunities, especially at Perth and then even at Darwin. We just, have had good pace, but haven't put our best foot forward at times where we could have achieved something great. So obviously winning and getting a pole and a podium, maiden, all that sort of stuff is awesome. But yeah, still definitely a lot more to achieve. And want to get in that top 10 and make sure that there's two WAU cars there in that final system.
Well, mate, let's talk about that first podium, because in Topor of all places too. I mean, being in New Zealand, did you have any friends and family there to witness it? Because you're from the North Island, aren't you?
Yeah, I am from the North Island, and it's funny, we used to spend a lot of time in Topor. I used to spend most summers there, and me and my old man, it's in the middle of the North Island, so I live in the bottom. So when we would travel from Auckland, we would, stay in Taupo the night, or going from Wellington to Auckland or to Hamilton would stay there. So it makes it pretty special to get it done there. And obviously there was a lot of emotion, and my parents were there, and a lot of my Kiwi sponsors were there as well. Actually, Deb Day, who's owns Dale ITM sponsor our races in New Zealand. So that was really special. She actually presented me with the trophy. So that was really special as well. So it was a day I'll never forget, and hopefully I can get a win there one day, and try and get that JR trophy.
Yeah, and our fans across the Tasman have been really lacking supercars in recent years. I mean, especially from the glory days of Pukekohe and Hamilton Street Circuit and all that. So it's probably pretty cool to see a double header in New Zealand with Topor and now Christchurch. I mean, I don't know too much about the new track down south, but is that something that you've come across before?
Yeah, it's a really cool track down in Christchurch. Obviously, Ruapuna is a very technical track. I think it's going to suit our cars a lot. There's going to be a lot of curb action, so make for a good spectacle. And there's plenty of viewing. That's what I think is really important for this, is that our Kiwi supporters are going to be able to see every bit of action. So, that's going to make that really exciting, and hopefully, like I said, I can get it done. But to have 2 rounds there is something that I think many Kiwis have dreamed of, and to have that coming next year is really cool. And then, we're obviously debuting the Super going into next year, which is going to be cool too.
Yeah, and look, it's quite funny too, considering the fact that you joined WAU as a Super 2 driver in a Commodore. Now you're driving a Ford Mustang, where you've got your breakthrough podium win, pole position, and now you've got a brand new horizon next year on the Toyota Supra. Is it exciting times for you guys at WAU, just going into the unknown, especially with such a huge global manufacturer coming in?
Yeah, it obviously is super exciting. For me, I've been through quite a few cars now. Obviously, starting in 86s, it's a full circle moment coming back to a Toyota. So that's really exciting. Obviously, we really want to finish our year strong with Ford, especially for me now that I've got a lot of achievements first with the Mustang. So I definitely want to end that relationship as well as we can do as a whole organization. But yeah, definitely excited for next year. And like I said, it's a full circle moment. So it's pretty exciting to get that underway next year.
Let's talk about those highs and lows in motorsport because race one in Perth, you got the absolute highs, mate. And then by Sunday evening, unfortunately, it was the lows. But talk me through that roller coaster weekend, especially having Murph there with you as well to witness your first win, because we know just how much it's well documented how important he is in your career.
Yeah, he's obviously probably the one of the biggest parts in my career and being able to get me to where I am. The highs and lows, it's part of motorsport. I'm used to them now, but on that level was very hard to take, to be honest. Winning a supercars race, I think shows how hard it is to do it and to put ourselves in a position to do that again twice, and for us to have that taken away was a hard pill to swallow, but it is what it is. It's why we do it, why we love it so much. That unknown and being able to put our cars and ourselves on the line and be able to, risk it for, at the end of the day, only a little trophy, but whatever comes with it, the glory for our whole team, the hard work, the sweat, the tears, all that stuff, to do that for our guys and girls at WAU and our sponsors is what we do it for. So it's that bit of glory I had on that Saturday at Perth is something that I want to feel again. And I was just more disappointed that it was the first race of the day because I couldn't do a burnout. So yeah, I always get asked, why didn't I do a burnout? I said, well, I'm trying to be responsible, but if I could get my time again, I probably would have done one knowing what was going to happen in the next two races.
Yeah, exactly. Those tires don't exactly grow on trees. But I want to quickly touch on Murph for a second because, he had a lot of success with the Walkinshaws and HRT back in the day. And now, you're almost, it's kind of cool that you're driving for the same team that he did back in the day when he did all those Bathursts and got all those triumphs.
Yeah, it's yeah, I still remember the day that we both found out that it was happening, that I was getting into main game, and I could just feel his emotion and see what it meant to him. I think it was a bit of deja vu on how he was, my age or younger, going into main game with that Mobile One, with HRT and with WAU. Obviously, it was named the Holden Racing Team before it became Walkinshaw Andretti United, but I think it just shows that, once you're a part of that Walkinshaw family and what they do for people's careers is, something that you can't let go of. So it's just, having Murph here to be able to guide me and I think really use his, I guess, knowledge, but also be aware of mistakes he might have made in the past and be able to, pass on that knowledge to me is really helpful. So we both, I think, really appreciate what we do. And I think for him, it's just really cool to see that, I guess, his hard work goes, not unnoticed. And to be honest, he does it all off the back of just wanting to help me. So it's, it doesn't mean there's any incentive. It's just about trying to make sure I go forward and make sure I put my best foot forward.
You've actually got quite a great support team out at Clayton at WAU, and another guy that I reckon doesn't get enough credit that should is Warren Luff. I mean, I know he does a lot of stuff with the Super 2 guys, but when you were doing Super 2, like how important was it having someone like Luffy there as a resource?
Yeah, obviously Luffy is a legend of a bloke, but what he helped me with is, those highs and lows and being able to take those. And I think Luffy, better than anyone's probably been through them as well. And, it just, the biggest thing with WAU is we could lean on just about every person there for the same thing. It's just that knowledge. You've got guys like Rob Starr, Macca, Anthony McDonald, the list goes on and on. We've obviously got new additions like Rich Harris, my race engineer, Sam Scafidi, Ray Lau. Then obviously we've got our bolstered engineering lineup with Terry and Carl. So the list, like I said, goes on and on and on. I think that's what makes our team so special. But then we've got the same list when it goes into driver coaching with obviously Luffy. What he does for McElroy Racing as well, I think is huge, and they'll be able to, back that up. And I think what he's done for so many young drivers, Matt Campbell, Jackson Evans, myself, like that list goes on, what he's done for drivers as well. And it's not only that driving part, it's more about the way he approaches it and how he actually becomes more of just a really good human to be around, and be able to lean on that is something you don't really get too much of. So, with Luffy, it's awesome to have him around, and obviously being able to lean on him at times of need is really special. And the biggest thing is, I know this year with the enduros and everything, I think our announcement got announced today with me teaming up with Juice. I think that'll be really helpful for me and Juice as well, leaning on Luffy and being able to make sure that we can get the most out of each other.
That must give you a bit of confidence too, with Jaden Ojeda being announced as your co-driver. I mean, hell of an enduro resume, being a two-time Bathurst 6-hour winner, plus his GT work is also well documented. It must give you some confidence, especially going into, the Bend, which is going to be a big unknown, and Bathurst, which, as you know, can really bite you in the backside.
Oh, yeah, I'm super excited to team up with Juice. It's obviously what he does in a race car is pretty special, and I think he's probably one of the most underrated guys I know. Obviously, Fabs is an unbelievable driver, and super excited to see what him and Chazzy do together. But yeah, really, really excited to team up with Juice. It's obviously going to be a pretty exciting lineup. I think what makes it cool for us is that we're both quite young. And you don't get that too often in supercars anymore with that sort of, teammate or enduro. You usually get an older and a younger guy, or a younger and an older guy. So, it's going to be exciting for two of us guys to team up. And what he does in a GT car is something I've never seen. I've seen it firsthand this year. I've raced against him a few times, and it's funny, me and Brock Feeney both racing Audis together, and we'll be getting the most out of it. And then Juice is half a second, 6/10 up the road. So it makes it funny when we come to enduros. Obviously, me being the main driver, Juice is there to make sure that we get the result. But we're also racing the GT the week of before at Tailem Bend. So that's going to be funny. I'm sure Juice will probably spank me there, and then be I'll be telling him what to do in the supercar. So it's exciting. But the thing that I'm most excited about is that he's doing a lot of racing. So he's going to be sharp, he's going to be fit, and I'm sure he's going to try to get me on the bike with him. So I'll try getting his toe a few times and burn off a few calories.
Now, you just quickly mentioned Chaz there, and you guys have been a pretty good combo this year. He's got a race win, a pole, handful of podiums too. So, yeah, you're really knocking at the door there at WAU, P4 in the Teams Championship. But is there much collaboration between both sides of the garage? Because the way that you drive a car and the way that Chaz does, obviously, it's not going to be a carbon copy. But have you found working with Chaz, especially the past couple of years, how much has that helped you?
Yeah, it's hard because Chaz is so good. Like, he is very, very talented, and it's people always say his cars are hard to drive, and look, they are, but it's because he just knows how to get the most out of the stuff he has at hand. So I think that's what makes it so difficult, is that even if the car's not quite in the window, he still manages to get the most out of it. So I think that makes it quite difficult to match him and be able to, put your best foot forward. But this year I'm lucky enough to have Rich come along, and we've found a really good sort of base package to work from. But yeah, Chaz has helped me so many ways with my driving, with my racecraft a lot. Still need to learn a lot with my starts. But I think the biggest thing is he's helped me with being able to be myself off the track, and really be myself with the fans, and not be afraid to speak my mind, and just have a great time and make sure I enjoy every moment that we have, because what we get to do is not something many people get to do.
Well, mate, you sound like you've got it all nailed down, Pat. And this year has just been absolutely stellar for you. So I do hope that when it all comes down to it, that you do take a moment to look back and think, geez, I did some pretty good stuff in 2025. But hey, it's not over yet. Woody, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. Thank you so much for joining me on the driver's seat. I know you're busy but good luck in Townsville. Stay away from the mad cow on a Sunday night, and all the best, mate.
Awesome. Thanks, brother. Great to be on.